You might be wondering, where are these empty cities? Why are these 10 European countries growing so silent in 2025? These are places that once echoed with life, laughter, and movement. Now, all that remains is silence. But why? And should you be thinking about leaving too? From Southern Europe to Central Europe, thousands of people are quietly packing their bags and starting over abroad. In this video, we're uncovering the real reasons behind the quiet exodus from 10 European countries in 2025, why so many people are leaving these countries and what's really driving them away. Backed by facts, official data, and the voices of those who've lived through it, we'll take you inside the challenges pushing millions to leave the very places they once called home. Stay with us till the end, because one of these countries might just be the one you were planning to move to next. And I will not ask you to like or subscribe right now. Just watch the full video, and if you find it valuable, so don't forget to like and subscribe to get more such content. Number 10, Greece. A country everyone dreams of visiting, but very few dream of living in anymore. Greece. Known for its breathtaking islands, ancient history, and picture-perfect sunsets. But behind the beauty, a quieter crisis is unfolding. In 2025, youth unemployment is still painfully high, hovering around 23%, one of the worst in Europe. Thousands of young Greeks, even those with degrees and skills, are struggling to find stable, well-paying jobs. But here's the truth. Wages remain low, especially in rural and tourist-heavy regions. Meanwhile, the cost of living in cities like Athens keeps rising, squeezing families and pushing young people to look abroad. Ironically, tourism is booming, but the benefits do not reach everyday workers. Instead, more and more young Greeks are quietly moving to countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and even Australia, in search of stability, dignity, and a future they can count on. Number 9, Italy. It's the land of fashion, food, and romance. So why are entire villages being left behind? Italy is facing a deep and growing demographic crisis. For every new immigrant arriving, nearly 9 Italians are quietly leaving. And no, it's not just about jobs. But here's the truth. Young Italians are tired of waiting. With low wages, endless bureaucracy, and almost no upward mobility, many see no path to build an independent life. In the south, entire villages are crumbling, abandoned homes, closed schools, and streets where only the elderly remain. Even viral schemes like €1 houses haven't been enough to reverse the trend. What's worse, the cost of living keeps rising, but salaries haven't caught up in decades. That's why more and more Italians are now building their futures elsewhere, in Switzerland, the UK, and even Canada, in search of opportunity, progress, and a better quality of life. Number 8, Spain. The Spanish dream is starting to fade for many. Spain might sound like a paradise, laid-back lifestyle, beautiful beaches, and vibrant culture. But for millions of young Spaniards, the reality feels very different. But here's the truth. In 2025, youth unemployment still sits around 14.5%, and even those with jobs often juggle multiple roles just to survive. In cities like Madrid and Barcelona, the cost of living has skyrocketed, and many young adults say they can't even afford to move out of their parents' homes. Stable, long-term job contracts? Rare. Affordable housing? Even rarer. And with a shrinking birth rate, young families find it harder than ever to plan for the future. That's why thousands of Spaniards are quietly leaving, headed to France, Germany, and even parts of Latin America, in search of better pay, more stability, and the chance to finally build an independent life. Number 7, Portugal. It was once Europe's hidden gem for the youth. Now, it's becoming a place to retire, not to build a future. Portugal has long been praised for its peaceful lifestyle, stunning coastline, and low cost of living. But in 2025, many young Portuguese are quietly leaving the country they love. But here's the truth. In cities like Lisbon and Porto, property prices have exploded, driven up by foreign investors and a surge in digital nomads. While rent and living costs soar, average wages remain low, especially in service industries where most young people start out. Even university graduates are struggling, working long hours, yet unable to save or gain stability. And with little room for upward mobility, many now feel they have no choice but to leave. Despite Portugal's safety and beauty, it's increasingly becoming a retirement hub, not a thriving space for young professionals. That's why more Portuguese youth are heading to Luxembourg, the UK, and Norway, chasing better pay, fairer opportunities, and a more secure future. Number 6. Croatia. They joined the EU for more opportunity, so why are so many Croatians leaving? Since joining the European Union, Croatia has experienced a quiet but steady exodus. In just the past decade, over 10% of its population has left, and that trend is still going strong in 2025. But here's the truth. Young Croatians are not just leaving for adventure, they're leaving out of frustration. With low wages, slow infrastructure development, and a political system riddled with corruption, many feel there's no room to grow at home. This shift has caused a devastating brain drain across healthcare and education. Doctors, nurses, and teachers are steadily relocating to countries like Germany and Austria, where they find better salaries, professional respect, and the resources they need to thrive. In rural Croatia, schools are shutting down for lack of students. Small towns are turning into ghost towns, not because people don't love their country, but because they cannot build a future there. Number 5. Poland. Poland's economy has seen significant growth over the past decade. But despite that progress, a large part of its workforce continues to look west for opportunity. Young professionals and skilled workers are steadily leaving for Germany, the UK, and other parts of Western Europe, drawn by better pay, improved working conditions, and more stable futures. Alongside economic reasons, many are also leaving due to growing discomfort with the country's social policies and concerns over the direction of its democracy. These factors have combined to create a quiet but powerful wave of emigration. In rural Poland, depopulation has reached extreme levels, with some villages now home to more animals than people. And while Poland has opened its doors to Ukrainian refugees, it continues to lose its own youth, weakening its long-term workforce and leaving entire regions behind. Number 4. Romania. Romania now holds one of the highest emigration rates in the entire European Union. As of 2025, over 20% of its citizens live and work abroad, a number that continues to grow year after year. The primary reason is income. Wages in Romania are often half, or even less, than what's offered in Western Europe, making it nearly impossible for many to build a stable life at home. Healthcare professionals, IT experts, and construction workers are leaving in large numbers, filling critical roles in countries like Germany, Italy, and the UK. Despite billions in EU investments and visible improvements in roads and infrastructure, Romania's labor market still struggles to retain its own people. The talent is there, but the opportunities often aren't. Number 3. Hungary. On the surface, it still looks alive. But underneath, Hungary is quietly losing its future. Hungary is witnessing one of the most significant youth and professional outflows in Europe today. By 2025, a growing number of its skilled citizens are quietly leaving, not just for better wages, but for a future they can believe in. The economy shows signs of strain. Wages are stagnating, urban housing has become increasingly unaffordable, and deeper political concerns, such as shrinking press freedom and controversial policy shifts, are driving many to seek stability elsewhere. Among those leaving are medical students, engineers, and tech professionals, most heading to Austria, Germany, or the Netherlands. And while Budapest still glows with life and culture, outside the capital, much of the countryside is slowly fading, aging populations, closing schools, and empty homes. For many young Hungarians, staying no longer feels like an option. Number 2, Bulgaria. EU borders may be open, but for many Bulgarians, the road only leads one way, out. In the heart of the Balkans, Bulgaria is experiencing a quiet yet steady exodus. Despite being part of the European Union, wages here remain among the lowest in Europe. For young professionals and skilled workers, local salaries simply don't support a modern life. In Sofia and other major cities, the cost of rent, groceries, and basic utilities continues to rise, while incomes remain stagnant. In rural areas, the situation is even harder. Opportunities are scarce, and the future looks uncertain for many families. As a result, more than 13% of Bulgaria's working-age population now lives and works abroad, with growing communities in Germany, Spain, and the UK. The quiet departure continues, one suitcase at a time. Number 1, Lithuania. The digital rise was real, but so is the emptiness it left behind. Lithuania, once praised for its innovation and digital growth, is now struggling with a deepening labor shortage. The economy is growing, but the benefits aren't reaching everyone. Average wages remain nearly half the EU standard, and the cost of living continues to climb, especially in smaller towns where opportunities are drying up fast. For many young Lithuanians, the decision to leave is no longer emotional, it's practical. Thousands of skilled workers, from nurses and technicians to engineers, are moving abroad each year, choosing countries like Germany, the UK, and Ireland where their skills are valued and their futures feel more secure. Entire communities have thinned out. And what's left behind is more than just empty homes, it's a demographic shift that could shape the nation's future for decades. So what's driving people to leave? It's not just one thing, it's everything. Rising costs, stagnant wages, political pressure, one by one, they add up. As Europe shifts, so do its people. Some countries are gaining, others slowly emptying. If this video gave you something to think about, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more video like this one.